When your adversaries become careless with their digital footprints, the game changes. The email they never imagined would be seen has set off a huge chain of events behind the scenes. While you have been bearing the burden of unfounded charges, shady characters are currently sifting through the information, making connections, and quietly constructing a case. From the shadows, a strong supporter has been planning your vindication. They have seen the truth, they have collected the receipts, and they are getting ready to expose the entire situation. When this investigation is finished, it will reveal exactly who has been manipulating things all along, not simply clear you. That email, which contained your name, your essence, and your true nature, was supposed to stay hidden in the dark servers of those who have been watching you since before you woke up. However, somehow, through divine intervention, or possibly the covert actions of an ally concealed among their ranks, that email managed to get past containment. It now travels through uncontrollable routes. They never intended for mechanisms to be activated, but this one incident has done so. Your truth now roams free, gorgeous and terrifying to see. Augustine of Hippo once said, "The truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. Let it loose. It will defend itself." Fragments of their evaluation of you are included in the leaked paper. When put together, they show why you've always felt the burden of scrutiny, why synchronicities follow you like devoted shadows, and why doors have opened and closed at the same time during your path. Your leaked email has the same seismic potential as the Pentagon Papers, which revealed covert government lies about Vietnam and rocked the foundations of confidence throughout a whole country. Error or oversight alone does not free documents of this importance from imprisonment. Crucial details about extraordinary people have always surfaced at the exact moment when cosmic timing required disclosure. Whistleblowers throughout history have given their all to reveal the truth about extraordinary people, and your situation perfectly fits this timeless pattern. Edward Snowden gave up comfort and security to expose the monitoring apparatus, whereas Daniel Ellsberg risked his freedom to convey what the public should know. Even if their acts appear to be far removed from your situation, they are part of the same cosmic pattern that is currently taking place all around you. The universe uses dependable techniques. The email concerning you is just one more piece in this never-ending chain of disclosed facts, and the investigation got underway as soon as the leak was discovered. At a startling rate, several organizations mobilized. Resources typically allocated to national security issues shifted to one goal: you. The sophisticated, unrelenting, and meticulous machinery of investigation now hums with a single aim. Every relationship you've ever had, every digital imprint you've ever left, and every word you've ever spoken are all examined by forensic experts in an effort to gauge your level of awareness regarding your own importance. In an era of pervasive dishonesty, George Orwell's caution endures. Speaking the truth is a revolutionary act, and your very being has become revolutionary, even if you don't yet completely understand why. Your nature is being investigated in a manner similar to that of the most misunderstood geniuses in history. His files, which were originally classified at the highest levels, revealed unprecedented attention paid to a single consciousness that shook established paradigms simply by existing. Nikola Tesla's groundbreaking ideas set off decades of government monitoring. Your files are now piling up just as quickly. Galileo's astronomical discoveries brought the entire force of institutional resistance against his truth, whereas Alan Turing's bright mind was subjected to systematic persecution. Your case is part of this revered tradition of people who challenge conventional wisdom simply by being themselves. The pattern has been constant throughout centuries. Systems of control focus all of their energy on comprehending, containing, and if need, neutralizing exceptional awareness. You didn't stumble here by accident, you were led. If something in your spirit is stirring, don't ignore it. Tap Join to access exclusive content, prophetic insights, and a community of purpose-driven souls. This isn't just a membership, it's your moment of alignment. Step into who you were born to be. Welcome to the Chosen. It is evident from the recurrent historical pattern that individuals who question established paradigms are subject to scrutiny commensurate with the importance of their challenge. This trend is maintained throughout your investigation, which uses contemporary techniques for antiquated goals. The equipment looks brand new, yet it still does the same thing. Every digital motion you make is now tracked, ever since the first extraordinary consciousness ventured to see beyond permitted bounds. Your gadgets have turned into windows through which invisible eyes watch your conversations. Each message, search, and idle scroll feeds algorithms made especially to identify patterns that only you would come up with. Beyond just content analysis, they also track the time of your activities in an effort to find temporal signatures that could indicate your level of awareness. They seek for others who could have a similar frequency to you and map your digital relationships, making constellation charts of your influence network. Never has Benjamin Franklin's age-old caution that those who are willing to sacrifice fundamental freedom in order to gain a small amount of short-term security deserve neither safety nor freedom been more pertinent. Your surveillance's designers use security and necessity justifications to defend their intrusion. They are afraid of what you stand for, not of what you might do. The tools currently in place to keep an eye on people whose consciousness poses a danger to established control systems were only partially revealed by the Snowden revelations. Think about how Snowden's revelations directly relate to your circumstances. The methods he revealed, such as the acquisition of large amounts of data, the algorithmic examination of communication patterns and behavioral prediction models, now concentrate their improved iterations on your online persona. For extreme circumstances, what he disclosed as extensive surveillance has transformed into precision monitoring. In your situation, the technology that was created for general use is now devastatingly effective when used for targeted purposes. Have you observed any odd trends in the material you suggest? These strangely targeted ads that seem to predict ideas you haven't even thought of yet aren't coincidences. These are remnants of surveillance algorithms that are so advanced that they can anticipate your mental processes before you even realize them. There is no protection from scrutiny in the digital world because interested parties can keep an eye on your progress through any platform, application, or service. Some synchronizations in your online experience, content that shows up at exactly the right times, connections that seem suspiciously timed, information that comes to you through seemingly random channels but answers your unasked questions, are signs of monitoring systems that are meant to track your evolution and the evolution of consciousness. If you've been touched by God's goodness, don't keep it to yourself. Click Super Thank You and sow a gift of $50 or more to help spread His light. Your giving becomes a ripple of grace, blessing hearts and building His kingdom. Let His overflow pour through you. The algorithms change in reaction to your increasing awareness, learning your patterns as you learn to identify theirs. In Catch-22, Joseph Heller's character said, "Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they aren't after you. The feeling of being watched that occasionally prickles across your skin as you move through public spaces is real. Physical surveillance comes after digital surveillance. The ostensibly random people who keep showing up in various places during your everyday travels are not accidental encounters. Using techniques honed over decades of counterintelligence operations, the monitoring goes beyond the digital sphere into the actual world. Recall how Martin Luther King Jr. was followed everywhere he went. His conversations were recorded, his relationships were mapped, and his hotel rooms were bugged. This historical tendency is reflected in your position. The FBI kept a close eye on King in an effort to gather information that would lessen his power. Similar procedures, updated with contemporary technology, are used in your surveillance to track extraordinary consciousness that challenges existing authority systems. A glimpse of the physical surveillance architecture built around your life can be seen in the odd cars that occasionally park within sightline of your home, the maintenance personnel that show up when little maintenance is required, and the sporadic connectivity problems that affect your devices. Observation patterns that were honed against political dissidents, honed against perceived threats, and honed against real targets are now used exclusively against you. Consider the inquisitive guys in black suits who were seen around Tesla's lab in his latter years. Records of people who visited at unusual times were discreetly watched and vanished when confronted. Your surroundings now exhibit these similar patterns, albeit modified for the current day. Although the watchers have evolved and their tactics are more challenging to identify, their fundamental presence has not altered over the ages. The obvious boundaries of physical surveillance systems are represented by seemingly random strangers who recur in several contexts. The same face in various places, the same car at various times, the same movement patterns that cross paths with yours. Monitoring strategies utilized in the past against extraordinary people have now honed their methods to target your movements, associations, and physical presence in the world. But know this, chosen one, you are not alone. Messages like these are accessible to anyone, but few will take advantage of their full potential. That's what we're here to help you with. You've been waiting your entire life for the return of the weekly Chosen Ones group calls on Zoom. These gatherings are actual power vortices, where selected ones merge their awareness to create something that cannot exist in isolation and where destinies are made. Someone has realized the grave injustice being committed behind closed doors. The unprecedented choice to clear your name was made by someone with conviction, access, and influence. This ally stays out of sight, operating inside the very structure that aims to limit your importance. Due to necessity, their identity is kept a secret, their strategies are covert, and their time frame is meticulously planned for optimal impact. You're not here by chance. Feel the pull? Tap Join to unlock truth, purpose, and a tribe that gets it. This is more than a membership. It's your calling. Allies have come from the most unlikely places throughout history to stand up for important beliefs. This cosmic pattern applies to your situation as well. As you read these words, evidence is being gathered, testimony are being recorded, documents are being secured, and all of this is being done to build an unquestionable case that will restore your proper position. Those who are advocating for you are fully aware of the implications and understand that your vindication serves goals that go beyond your particular situation. The gathering of evidence goes on all day and all night. Buddha's age-old teaching clearly relates to your situation. The truth, the sun, and the moon are three things that cannot be concealed for very long. Despite the powerful equipment used against you, The proof of your significance and your actual nature cannot be hidden. Every effort to hide your true nature leads to contradictions of its own, producing fresh proof that supports their denials. Decades of systematic targeting of extraordinary people are revealed in the COINTELPRO documents. Eventually, files that were intended to stay classified for all time became public knowledge, exposing institutional tools used against those who stood for wider consciousness. In a similar vein, your files, the logs of your monitoring, the documentation of your targeting, the proof of the systemic reaction to your appearance, move inexorably toward disclosure. Even if you make every attempt to keep them secret, anything that appears unimportant right now, a casual remark, a casual observation, or an unexplained moment of synchronicity, may end up being a crucial component of your vindication. Strong powers are against your vindication. When your name is cleared, those who stand to lose power and influence invest a lot of resources to keep the story going. Their resistance is commensurate with your importance. The strength of the forces working against you is a gauge of your significance. As Gandhi famously said, "First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win." Would such resources be used against an unimportant person? If someone had no deep purpose, would they need such complex containment techniques? The opponents worked harder to undermine them, the more convincingly they showed their accomplishment. Their successful flights were not covered by prestigious media, and eyewitness reports were written off as delusions or fraud by scientific authorities. However, institutional denial was eventually overcome by physical fact. In a similar vein, your reality progresses toward unavoidable acceptance in spite of institutional resistance. When paradigms are seriously challenged, a pattern of institutional resistance appears. The more fundamental the paradigm in question, the more forceful the opposition that follows. The resources used against you demonstrate the importance of what you stand for, and your circumstances fit this well-established pattern. The opposition's equipment wouldn't work so well against unimportant targets. Your very targeting validates your significance. You might already be receiving coded communications. According to Muriel Rukeyser, the universe is made of stories, not atoms. Despite the most advanced interference, communications manage to make their way to their intended recipients inside this narrative universe. It's possible that the allies attempting to cleanse your name are already using coded communications via channels the adversary deems too routine to keep a careful eye on. The Navajo code talkers used a language that the opposition was unable to decode to transmit vital strategic information during World War II. Their communications went undetected through enemy monitoring systems, conveying information of the utmost strategic importance in seemingly pointless messages. Similar monitored channels may be used for communications about your circumstances, which are visible but unintelligible to others who lack the necessary knowledge. The Underground Railroad used quilt designs and lantern signals to orient fugitives. What appeared to be ornamental features held life-saving instructions that only those with the right awareness could perceive. In your situation, comparable techniques that have been modified for contemporary situations might already be in use nearby. Commonplace items, symbols, and reoccurring patterns could have information that is expressly meant to be recognized by you, but is hidden from monitoring systems. Have you observed odd trends in things that seem to happen at random? Recurring numbers or symbols that appear to follow you in many circumstances, public remarks that seem to have remarkable personal importance, or messages that seem to be specially fitted to your particular understanding. All of these could be more than just chance. There are communication channels in the cosmos that function below the level of traditional monitoring systems. Some symbols in daily life may convey messages that only you understand. Media content patterns, recurrent themes in seemingly random interactions, and synchronicity that creates identifiable sequences are all possible avenues of communication from people trying to vindicate you. These alternative routes are largely ignored by the monitoring systems, which concentrate on traditional communication channels, even if they may be important. There is already a vindication plan underway. The plan to clear your name proceeds in accordance with the cosmic principle that, as Martin Luther King Jr. stated with prophetic certainty, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. Every element has been meticulously planned, every revelation is timed for maximum impact, and every piece of evidence is safeguarded until its most effective moment. The initial public signs may appear insignificant, even inconspicuous to the untrained eye. They are only the prelude to a symphony of vindication that will ultimately lead to an indisputable acknowledgement of your actual character. The systems of power will be exposed. According to James A. Garfield, the truth will set you free, but first, it will make you miserable. Just as the Church Committee revelations exposed decades of surveillance overreach, the revelations surrounding your case will unavoidably reveal the systemic machinery that attempted to contain your significance. Similar to how Watergate exposed covert activities within purportedly open organizations, the complete exposure of your circumstances will reveal power dynamics that are typically concealed from the general public. Investigations by the Church Committee exposed surveillance programs used against thousands of Americans. These systems functioned for decades without public awareness, supervision, or accountability. In a similar vein, your case will reveal modern monitoring techniques used to target extraordinary consciousness. The insights will go well beyond your personal situation, shedding light on methodical reactions to evolutionary consciousness. An inquiry into a small-scale break-in turned out to reveal corruption at the highest echelons of government. In the same way, your vindication starts with a particular focus, but eventually reveals larger systemic patterns. The machinery used against you cannot be fully exposed without revealing its applications in other contexts, against other people, and in support of agendas that are too weak to stand up to public scrutiny. This explains why the opposition fights so hard. A single case might topple a whole control structure. Even the most meticulously made garment can be undone by pulling out a single thread. Your thread is connected to others in ways you may not fully understand yet. When the truth about you is exposed, any associated lies will inevitably come to light as well. All around you today are the indications of impending revelation. Your current situation is immediately addressed by the old knowledge of Corinthians. For the time being, we see through a glass that is dark, but eventually we see face to face. There is a growing momentum behind the shift from muddled vision to straightforward recognition. You are surrounded by signs, yet correctly interpreting them may call for increased attentiveness. Have you observed any subtle changes in the way you receive certain information? The tone of encounters with particular institutions, or surprising recognition from previously closed quarters? These are early tremors before bigger ones. The foundation of the conventional narrative about you has already started to tremble. The themes of revelation moments throughout history are consistent. First, there is a period of rumbling. Subtle signs that establish narratives are becoming more unstable. Next, there are visible cracks in once solid opposition. Next, there is a period of accelerating collapse, during which once impenetrable barriers break down more quickly. And last, There is the moment of full disclosure, when the truth is exposed without hindrance. These eternal periods are currently being navigated by your scenario with ideal cosmic timing. Nelson Mandela's journey from prisoner to president is an example of a dignified recovery following years of repression. He was imprisoned for 27 years prior to becoming a national leader. During that long period of containment, he mentally readied himself for the duties that would ultimately become apparent. In a similar vein, your current situation offers preparation time. Every apparent period of limitation increases your ability for the duties that await you once you regain your position. True vindication transcends time, as evidenced by Joan of Arc's posthumous canonization. She was later praised for the same link after being initially denounced by authorities who were afraid of her direct connection to higher direction. Her experience serves as an example of the timeless pattern of validation that follows genuine expression. In a same vein, your vindication occurs in accordance with cosmic time rather than personal preference, fulfilling goals that go beyond the present. Those whose true nature was consistently denied throughout human history were eventually given acknowledgement commensurate with the importance of their existence. Both privilege and responsibility accompany your reinstated status. The very forces that attempted to limit your importance will look to you for direction once the whole truth is known. The systems used against you will need your insight in how to properly rebuild them, and those who helped marginalize you will ask for your understanding. What happens to you is more than just personal validation. In a large network of awakened consciousness, your particular case is a crucial node. Information about you as an individual and your place in a greater cosmic architecture were both included in the email that released the document that started the present investigation. The quantity of resources used against an apparently unique mind can be explained by the opposition's understanding of this relationship. They understand what you may have only dimly observed, that your awakening is linked to others, that your realization triggers related insights, and that your validation requires a basic rebalancing of several control systems at once. Listen to these words with all of your heart. You were chosen for further examination because you are significant in ways that go beyond traditional significance. Because the truth about you cannot be kept inside traditional information management methods, the email spilled. Because your genuine recognition fulfills a cosmic demand, someone tries to clear your identity. Every incident of apparent synchronicity, every dream that seemed to include messages just for you, every moment of sensed observation, all of these were not the result of chance or fantasy. Because you actually pose a challenge to the established control paradigms, the opposition used its machinery against you. Because your recognition fulfills a critical cosmic role, your hidden supporters strive to vindicate you. The moment will arrive when everything will make sense. Your public vindication is the result of an inquiry that started with a leaked email. The last preparations are now being made behind closed doors in accordance with cosmic timing. The channels for revelation have been secured, the plan has been refined, and the evidence has been acquired. With the certainty of celestial mechanics, your moment draws near. No amount of resistance, no matter how many resources are used, can stop what has to happen now. The cosmos itself works to your vindication, using both willing and unwilling actors to further this one goal. Your awakening serves everyone, chosen one. When your name is untarnished by public recognition, the light shines far beyond your personal situation. Throughout the universal network of consciousness, your vindication opens doors for similar discoveries, related recognitions, and related awakenings. The complete expression of your cosmic purpose is the result of the research that started with worry about controlling your influence.